What's up? Rasam Bahati. I'm back here with another race. This happened over Memorial Day weekend. I got a chance to go out and race, and this is it. Racing Masters 35 Plus, which ended up being a really good race. So I'm not going to cover the whole race, just the last 5 laps. A lot of breaks. This was a 3-day points omnium. Our closer, Sharon Smith, came into the day, I think, sitting fifth. And if we can get some points and a victory, he would be right in there. He did secure points on both point prems, and now we are setting up for the finish. It threatened to rain the entire day, and literally with 5 laps to go, the weather turned and it started to come down. Before the start of the race, I was contemplating, should I let out some air or should I just leave it the way it is and have confidence that it would not race. I mean, it would not rain. So I was almost right, about 95% right. Anyway, after numerous attacks, tons of breaks, it was very hard for anything to survive on this course. Just the right combinations never got up the road. We had Method Sweeney had a solid group. We had Steven Salazar, who was a rider I never really have to say anything to. We've been racing together and against each other for a very long time. He knows what I need. As you look through the back camera, you will see him coming up to give me a break. I was doing a lot of work to make sure that the race came down to a field sprint, and Steven he knows what to do. He's one of those guys that he would go a couple years, a few years, maybe longer than that without a win, but he is instrumental to a lot of the success our team has, just because he's one of those hard workers that don't mind putting his nose in the wind. And he's never the one on the top step, but seriously, without guys like him, there is no top step for the team. So here I am yelling at Arturo. He kept giving me this hand signal. I guess that hand signal means I'm feeling good, I'm going. So these two guys gave me a bit of a break and kept the pace high enough to where it was single file. Our main competition was Hit Squad. They did a great job covering all of our moves, even countering some of our moves. Their sprinter is in the lead. He is the leader. Right now there's a group starting to go off the front, and I'm yelling at Arturo, it's okay, let them go. We don't have to keep chasing because we are going to do a lead out. And there's Derek. So Derek didn't hear me either. And I'm telling him to just relax, chill out. And then the other yelling is Hit Squad telling his guys to go. So a lot of verbal commands going on out there, which is it's new to the Masters field. In the pro field, there's tons of verbal commands coming from different teams, and there's no secret. You know, it's like, yo, I need you on the front. Yo, I need you to slow down, whatever it may be. So I'm telling my guys just to relax. You see Sharon just slotted in on the wheel with 4 laps to go. You can now see those 3 guys kind of slightly off the front. Hit Squad was motivated to cover it. I wanted to relax a little bit. I was actually a little fatigued at this time for many reasons, but mainly the lack of training and how hard I rode during the day. So these moves that are going across are absolutely perfect for us. All it's doing is creating, it's filling in the gap. I'm telling Salazar to just pedal and stay inside the group. I have confidence this group won't survive. And what I'm thinking in my head also is to make sure I don't do any big efforts that would make Sharon dig too deep. So that's why a lot of my moves, my pulls are very methodic and slowly brought up to speed. I mean, we're going 28, 29 miles an hour right now. I could easily push on the pedals and go 32, 33, but it's not necessary because just like that, very easy effort, I'm back into the group. Some of you may wonder why you do not see a heads-up display right now. Actually, this is my first time racing my new painted Giant Propel, which was done by Mike Harley. You can check him out at MPH Paint on Instagram. Anyway, I don't have my Pioneer power meter on yet. Pure laziness. I have it, I just haven't put it on. So I have no power. So for this video, I said forget it. I'll just, hopefully you can see a little bit of my my Wahoo Element. So it slowed down tremendously right here. We're going 24 miles an hour, but very deceiving because we did have a headwind here and there's a slight uphill, long way from the last turn. Guys are starting to swarm us, which is perfectly fine. Salazar slides right in with Sharon on his wheel, and we still have 3 laps to go. So we're talking another, 7 to 8 minutes, which is still a lot of time to bike race. So it's very important for us to just stay safe. The roads are starting to be a little wet now. I have too much tire pressure, so I'm very cautious of how I'm taking these corners and making sure I'm not spending too much time over the paint. For the most part, though, the team did a fantastic job riding hard, riding smart. I think every race we make mistakes. We're not going to be perfect, but I think our team is mature enough to learn from those mistakes, realize when I'm yelling during the race is just so you can hear me more than being pissed off. I'm not pissed off. Dave Casel said something one day I'll never forget. He said, dude, Masters racing is like playing softball on the weekend. That's exactly what it is. It's all for fun, but you still want to win. Derek, the pilot, always on the front, doing good things for the team. He is another solid rider that's just, he's always consistent. Even on bad days, he's consistent. It's hard to tell when he has a bad day. So honestly, Sharon and I really put together a really nice squad that could win with 4 guys or with our complete squad of 8 to 9 guys. So again, just kind of cruising around here. There's no attacks. There's no one planning to do anything that would throw off our game plan. One thing I like most about our team is that I always preach keep moving. Keep moving. When you're in a crit, you have to keep moving. You just can't stay idle on one spot. You could move through a field without using any effort. If you're going 26, 27 miles an hour and the group in the front slows down to 24, use your momentum to make up 4 or 5, sometimes even 10 spots. It's very important, especially towards the end of the race when swarms are always coming, people are taking more risk. It's very important to keep moving. So just 2 laps ago, as you can tell, my front GoPro is starting to get a little blurry because of the rain that's coming down. And at this point, I'm not focused on wiping the lens off, so I apologize for that. The back camera looks pretty nice. It actually fell down a little bit, but still with the wide angle, you could see what's going on. I'm doing a lot of coaching to the guys. Hey, right here, stay left, stay right. One of the things we didn't do well was protect the corners. We did finally figure it out towards the end of the last lap, which you would see, but we didn't do a good job doing it earlier on in the lead out. If you go to YouTube and check out Sean Bagley's video, he has a different perspective because he's a closer like Sharon, and he's actually kind of floating around Sharon, and it gives you a different point of view of what's going on behind Sharon. So I'm just coaching the guys, saying get together. We're all kind of in the vicinity, but it's important now to get together. I actually wanted to start the lead out right about here and have control going through the start finish. It didn't quite happen, and it worked out. But I really thought that we could take control here. You can't see my computer anymore because of the water, but we're going about 26, 27. Nothing too crazy, but definitely comfortable. As you can see, Sharon gives some gaps here and there, and it's a really good tactic that I won't get too deep into because you have to know what you're doing. But it's a way to protect your area. You know, you don't have to be jammed up into the wheel, especially when we're not going, 60 kilometers an hour or anything like that. So I'm telling Arturo, arriba, arriba, let's go, vámonos, vámonos, vámonos. And there is a slight language barrier between Arturo and the team. And you can see I'm yelling at the top of my lungs. I'm like, dude, you're going way too hard. You can't sprint a whole lap. No one's that good, especially a lap that big. If it was a kilometer lap, perhaps, but this is a pretty big lap. So Arturo takes a hard pull, and I'm saying, it's still a long way to go. I need you to get back in one more time. And this is where I really enjoyed our team. He could have very easily got out of the way, said, hey, I did my pull. But no, he sacrificed a little more. He dug a little deeper. Derek is on the front, kicking us at about 27, 28 miles an hour. I'm yelling right to the gutter, get in the gutter, because what you want the team that wants to contest you to take the long way around. The long way around will be to the left. As you can see, one of the twins from Velo Pasadena takes a quick hit. I'm not sure what he was trying to accomplish here, but he's taking the long way around, and we're in the driver's seat. If we wanted to move left, we could and push him right out of the way. That's why it's very important for us to protect. So to the right, Derek's job is done. You can see P-Sean on Sharon's wheel. He's a solid 200, maybe more, but he's a good guy to protect Sharon's wheel, and once his fitness get where he wants it to be, he could be a guy that could also sprint with Sharon, and we could be a little more greedy with the podium. So Steven Salazar's pull is over, and at this point you can't tell, but Arturo is in front of me, and I'm starting to set up for the turn. Arturo stays right, I pop left so I can take the turn in an apex, still on the pedals. I'd never stop pedaling here, and this is where I was like, oh boy. So this was a headwind, and typically, I mean, on a good day I can go 36, 37 in the saddle. I was barely reaching like 33, 34 miles an hour. Sharon started his sprint at about 150, and look at, I mean, our lead out was almost perfect. It really split the field. Sharon wins the race, puts himself into second place with another race to go on Monday, which you can follow up after this. Thanks for watching, and appreciate everyone.